Good morning. If you just joined us here on the show, this is Prime Morning here on Newsflash, and it's where we get to look at the front page of the newspapers and also have some major conversations here on the show. And of course, we always have the two political parties representing us, speaking for government and opposition, as well as also you sharing your thoughts on some of the issues that we discuss here on Prime Morning. This morning, we've got a lot to talk about. Before we even get into that, I'm still reminding you that, there's Big Chef coming out strong and you need to be a part of it. Lots of recipe these kids are ready to show you. And if you're out there and you're looking forward to getting some cooking skills, so this is the place to be. As at this moment, we're done with the audition. We're looking forward to bringing you the 12 contestants that will be in the competition. And you would have to help them become who they want to be, all right? So yes, we're going to tell you when exactly we're going to open up for that competition so you can also be a part of it. But really, expect something very, very, very exciting here on Big Chef. Let's say a big thank you to Nutri Snacks this morning for making it possible. As always, as your best bet out there, go out there and grab yourself one. It's not expensive and it's very delicious and nutritious as well. So please do well. Check into any of the supermarkets and ask for Nutri Snacks and you will get it. And, get plenty. It's Christmas time, and a lot of people will be looking forward to gifts. I don't know what you're giving your in-laws, but you can get a pack of Nutri Snacks and give to them. They'll thank you. Rosalind says there's a lot of blessings and thank you. So do well and get that thank you. It is very, very necessary. Step Up is also showing 7:30 p.m. on Sundays. Make sure that you're also tuning in. And some people are winning a lot of prizes out there. I don't know about you, but if you're one person who believes that you've got what it takes to be on that stage, you need to make your way the next season, all right? And trust me, you would enjoy it, all right? George Quay is going to be there. Mercury Quay will be providing you some music and some entertainment as well. And we'd like to say a big thank you to Syntex Tank for making it possible. Our Christmas giveaway is ongoing. It's Joy Prime Christmas. And we're telling you that all you need to do if you're a family, just put something together by yourself, something nice that makes you the family that you are. And we're going to reward you for that. Send it to us, record yourself, you send it to us. Once we get it, we look at the family, what makes you guys unique and all that. You never can tell. You get to win something very, very, very beautiful for your family as well. So yeah. We're hoping that you join in on that. The WhatsApp line is on your screen, so you can just, send it to us. A very, very brief description of your family, and then you add a photo, maybe together, you take it, and then you send it to us. And the WhatsApp line is on your screens right now, so just send it through, and that's the only way you can actually enter, all right? So, yeah, that's what it is. We love it. We love to give back as well, and so we're looking forward to having a good time, putting smiles on your faces, all right? Great stuff. This morning, you can send your messages on our WhatsApp line. We're streaming live on Facebook. It's Joy Prime TV on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. And also, if you're on TikTok, we are over there as well. We've got some major issues we'll be talking about. I'll be sharing that with you in a bit. But you can as well send your thoughts on the other conversations that we'll be having here on Prime Morning. We'll be more than glad to read from you. Let's get into the front page of the newspapers this morning. And then I'll speak to you, I'll introduce to you my guest in the studio. Manasseh is already in here. We're still waiting for Richard to also join us here on the show. I'll be telling you more about these two gentlemen when I'm done with the newspapers. But I'll start off with Daily Graphic. And Daily Graphic this morning on the front page, it says that OSP bears teeth, probes state land sales and payrolls as well. And the special prosecutor is not happy at all. He's not a happy man as at this moment. I'm thinking that he's the only unhappy man when it comes to the state. He's been very, very, very worried about the way things are going, especially with the court system allowing certain people. He believes that they are supposed to be accountable to some things that he wants clarity on. Anyway, majority stages walkout in Parliament over budget debates. Page 13 has got the story on that on the front page of the Daily Graphic. State agencies save $30 million from Ghana card merger, and also special supplement on Farmers Day tomorrow. It's going to be Farmers Day. We're dedicating time for farmers tomorrow here on Prime Morning. And we've got something special. We'll be adoring as well. And also, don't forget that we're 4 years. Prime Morning is 4 years tomorrow. And so it's a big celebration for us. And trust me, you don't want to miss tomorrow's show. The plan that we have for you tomorrow, you do not want to miss. I'm tempted to give away some of the but don't worry. If I get the green light, I'm going to do so. But you don't want to miss tomorrow's show on Prime Morning. Vice President launches 100-day countdown to African Games. That's at the back page of the Daily Graphic. Stop using woven bags for bagging cement. EPA directs manufacturing companies. That's the back page of the Daily Graphic. Grab a copy this morning, read all about it. And away from that, Daily Guide is here. On the front page, it says majority walks out on Speaker over 2024 budget. NDC supporters vandalize party headquarters. Also captured over here. Bawumia launches 2023 African Games countdown. And OSP cries over judicial losses. And Rebecca graduates 70 women in skills training. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Grab a copy and read all about it. At the back page, forget about retirement. Coach tells Messi. Looks like Messi is not going to be retiring anytime soon because the older he gets, the better he becomes, sort of. And so they want him to still stay. And that's Argentina coach telling Messi. He's probably going to be playing when he's still 45 or something. You know, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and then he's out. Goldfields PGA Golf Tee Off at Damang, and Bawumia launches Accra 2023 African Games countdown. Some stories, some sports. Haaland will wow Guardiola again, and that Erling Haaland guy is super intelligent when it comes to scoring goals, and gradually becoming one of my favorites in football. And he's the reason I'm supporting Man City right now. So yeah, if you see me arguing about Man City or doing anything of a sort, I've got reasons why I'm doing so. So yeah, and it definitely has to be Haaland. A very excellent player over there. Anyway, but let's move on to the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times says drama in Parliament. A majority walks out ahead of budget approval. Accuses Speaker of playing to minority gallery. And it's got the Speaker, Adam Bagbin, captured in the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Veep plants a tree to mark Accra 2023 100-day countdown. And some court decisions against the OSP, regressive, dismissive, Kisi Ejabing says so. The La General Hospital will be completed on schedule, Finance Minister assures. That's the front page of the Ghanaian Times. At the back page, it's all dedicated to farmers, and it says, Happy Farmers Day. Even in advance, we're wishing all farmers out there a happy Farmers Day. But I'm still reminding you that tomorrow we've got a special show we're putting together for farmers and also for our celebration as we clock 4 years on Prime Morning. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, right? Yeah, it has been. All right, so that will be the Ghanaian Times today. Business Finder is here this morning, and it says that IPPS on life support over $2.3 billion debt, threatening potential power supply crisis. And U.S. to support development of Ghana's digital economy. Confusion rocks 2024 budget approval. And also there are some stories on business that you want to check out in the inside story. And consumer price inflation. Some has to do with interest rates and also some commodities as well. So yeah, once you grab a copy of Business Finder this morning, you'll be able to read all about it. And that will be all for the various newspapers that we have this morning here on the show. Now we're going to get into our substantive issues and look at what exactly the major issues are. But Manasseh Attabuaine is here with us this morning. He's government spokesperson on economy and finance, and he's joining us from the NPP. We're also going to be joined by Richard Maribe, and he's also a communications team member for the NDC. He'll be joining us very soon. Manasseh, good morning.
How are you? Very good morning to you. I'm doing well, by God's grace. I trust you are doing well.
I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I'm super excited ahead of our, celebrations tomorrow.
Wow. Yeah.
Tomorrow will be a good one.
Yes.
And we expect all of you to wish as well. We've been 4 years now.
Of course, that's great. I wish I'll make time to be there.
You need to come. It's a big celebration. all the political party representatives that will come on this show. Tomorrow we're inviting you for our 4 years anniversary. You know, we're 4 years on Prime Morning, and so we're inviting you. This is it unofficial, official? But no, we're actually, it's an official invitation to all of you, and I'm sure our producers will be calling some of you to come through and come and support us on the morning show, you know, and especially the fact that we're doing it also for farmers. It's Farmers Day, so we're hoping that you all come in and celebrate with us. But how's government business going?
Very well. Very well. Government business is doing so well, and we are so excited about the significant gains we are making in our economy. I mean, given the volumes of our debt, which has toned down to about 66.4%, and the rate at which inflation is even coming down, we are very confident that the measures we have put in place are yielding positive results. And so we are very happy, and we are not relaxing and relenting in our efforts in ensuring we are able to reduce the cost of living crisis. And so from the government side, everything is going well, and it has been hard work all through.
Hard work all through. And so I'm concerned about inflation and, you know, how the government is working about it. It's now 15.17, right?
It's now 35.1.
35.1, right?
Yeah.
And how is it coming down? How are we ensuring that, you know, by the close of the year, we'll be able to get a better figure to represent?
Right. So when you look at the inflation basket, let me say a very good morning to our cherished viewers. And let me say a very good morning to His Excellency, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who now is the flag bearer of the NPP. And we are confident that with him, we'll win the 2024 elections. Yes, KMJ, when you look at the inflation basket, you'd realize that we have several components. Key amongst them is the food inflation. And at for time, you'd realize that because Ghana is highly import-driven, the component of imported inflation was always on the ascendancy. But in recent months, you realize that food inflation has also gone to the roof. It's been so high until the last about 5 or so months where we've recorded some decline in food inflation. And so what the government has done is to tactically ensure that as it relates to food inflation, we are able to ensure there is a deflation in that regard. And that's why the government has implemented the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. That's why we've also implemented the Youth in Agriculture and also the Economic Enclave Project. And the ultimate goal is to ensure we have food security and resilience. And also, again, to ensure that we have food across all the seasons in the year, so that going forward, we'll be able to have bumper harvest and also ensure that the prices of food are reduced to the barest minimum. And so with food inflation alone, we'll be able to ensure we drive down inflation. Then again, when you look at the component of imported inflation, you'd realize that now we have a lot of factories and industries that are running. There's an ally in Parliament, and government seeks to restrict, not to ban. The aim of government through the ally application by the minister responsible for trade and industry is not to place a complete ban on those 22 items, but to restrict the importation so that in the end we'll be able to protect our local industries and ensure we create job opportunities for ourselves. The more we import from abroad or even from our neighboring countries, the more we create employment opportunities for them. And so it's very important we are able to limit restrictions, you know, by way of reducing the volumes of dollars we make available to importers to bring in goods of which we have industries producing close substitutes. And also by way of, tariffs to be able to restrict importation. And so as it relates to food inflation or even inflation generally, the measures government is putting in place, one, to ensure we have a stability in our currency is really working. And given the various implementation we have done as it relates to our agri sector, we are confident that in the subsequent months we will continue to record a decline in inflation, especially food inflation.
Let's look at another important aspect of, you know, our existence. If you look at the GDP, that's also another issue that we want to get into. How are we in terms of government? And I'm asking because you represent government and financial economy. So how are we ensuring that, you know, by the end of the year or even in 2024, we'll be able to get a better representation of it? As at this moment, we've got about 3.24 in 2022. 2023, we're hovering around
I mean, average for Q1, Q2 is around 3.2.
3.2.
Yeah.
So if you look at it from 2022 and 2023,
Yeah.
There's not much difference.
Yeah.
In terms of the growth.
Right. So what government is doing to boost our growth is to ensure we create the enabling environment for a lot of people to work. I mentioned that when you look at one project, the Economic Enclave project, it is so huge to the extent that when you go to Chopoli today, we have a rice enclave, about 10,000 acres of land, and government has even put up a residential facility to enable us accommodate about 500 youth who will be engaged in the strict production of rice. That, of course,
part of the Youth in Agriculture project.
Yes, no, this is part of the economic enclave project.
Okay.
Yes, and with the youth in agriculture, government is targeting 200,000 youth to ensure that we are able to rig them in agriculture, and also to ensure we have a lot more agricultural produce. And so, for us to be able to grow our economy, we need to ensure that we have a lot of productivity or output out there. And that's how come government has created this enabling environment. When you even look at the other sectors of the economy, government also is investing heavily and hugely, even in the education sector. And all these are part of the efforts in ensuring that we are able to enhance the human capital development of individuals in country, so that going forward, even when you are through with your free SHS, and should you decide you want to be an entrepreneur, you have some kind of education, and that will also enhance your abilities to even excel. And so government is ensuring that we are able to boost our productivity, to boost our GDP by ensuring that we support a lot of businesses. And that is what is happening. When you go to YEA, you go to Ghana Enterprise Agencies and the rest, there are a lot of stimulus packages government is giving out to individuals who even have the idea of setting up businesses and all of that. And all these are parts of efforts by government in ensuring that we have a lot of people working, so that at the end we'll be able to have our productivity being increased. And we are also working hard on the exchange rates to ensure we have a more stable exchange rate. And the good news is that, as you are aware, from February to date, we've been able to record a decline in the depreciation of the cedi by some 4 or so %. And the stability has been very, very significant, to the extent that it creates, a lot of opportunities for business people to make their projections as it relates to their day-to-day trade. And so government is very much concerned in ensuring that we are able to maintain stability in our currency, and also to ensure there is some more reduction even in the cedi dollar rate, which will inure to the benefits of Ghanaians. And so we are confident. When you even look at the growth targets given by IMF and World Bank for even emerging economies or developing economies, it was a little above 2%. Our target as a country was around 1.5% as revised. But in Q1, Q2 of 2023, we are doing an average of about 3.2%. And so we are confident that even before the end of December, we'll be able to have some marginal increase in the 3.2% average we have recorded, so that in the end we'll have a lot more people working.
Quick one before we move on to the first topic we want to look at. In terms of the youth in agriculture, what's the current stage now? Where are we now?
Yes, so I think we are still receiving applications.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are still, and I'm sure probably by the end of the year that would come to an end, and there will be some shortlisting. Yeah, so I'll follow. You asked me this last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yes,
because I've gone to places, where the conversation of this whole project you're starting has come up. Even in recent times, my trip to the Volta region, about twice, I've had people ask me about, what's happening with it. So it is something that I'm really, really interested in.
I think we should make you an ambassador. you are doing a good job for Mother Ghana. So I'll keep keen interest and eyes on it, so that I'll be able to update the project. But as of now, I am aware YEA is still receiving applications, online applications, and I'm sure maybe by the end of the year they would close the portal to ensure we're able to shortlist those who applied.
Okay, very well. And so I'll be bringing you updates on that, and I'm sure when we are able to get to know the next stage that we're moving to, all those of you who are interested. The last time I asked you all to go to the website and check for yourselves, and be sure you can also, send in your applications and all of that. And those of you who did, I'm sure you're waiting patiently to know the next stage of the entire project. And so we'll be bringing you some more updates on that here as and when we're able to get them. If you're students and you're supposed to be going to school on Monday, the teachers union is not really happy about the entire process and how things are going in terms of the school placement and the reopening of the SHS student school. Now they're saying that it is not feasible, and that's how they describe it. And the reason being that if they go on Monday, they're likely going to come back home on 21st of December for the Christmas period, and then have to, make another comeback again. And they think that this is really worrying, and so they've sent a letter to the Director General of GES to, address some of these issues and how best they can go about it. Why are we putting too much burden on teachers and even on students with this entire free SHS placements and new schedules and all of that? Why?
Well, KMJ, of course, there's been genuine concerns that have been raised as it relates to.
There has been serious issues with regards to this.
Yes, but I don't think the intent of the GES is to inflict some kind of discomfort to the Ghanaian people or even our younger brothers and sisters who are to enroll onto the free SHS program. When you look at the timing of the release of the results and the placement as well, it tells us that we have just a little time to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And it's important for classes to begin. Yes, there are genuine concerns as to the number of days the students will have to be in school. Maybe just few days. In less than 3 weeks, then they go on vacation. These are genuine concerns, and I would wish for the Director General of the GES to, come up with some responses. We all have our genuine concerns, and the back and forth as it relates to the short period within which students will have to be in school and they vacate for a short while. I think the vacation period is just for 10 days or so.
It's just
or
for
less.
the period, the Christmas period, and then you're back in.
So the back and forth really is worrying, and that has been the concerns we have received thus far. And so I think this is the duty of the GES to come up and explain. I am not too sure the reasons for which the academic calendar has been in this way, and I think they owe Ghanaians a lot of duty to explain. And I think it's important for some kind of compromise to be reached between the government through the GES and also the parents. And I think it's important for there to be a roundtable discussion so that we'll be able to bring some finality to this, because over some few years we've had the reoccurrence of short intervals and a whole lot, and given the aim of GES to ensure students are able to complete the syllabus before the duration of the 3 years or so for the free SHS, I think it is still important for there to be critical conversations as it relates to the calendar and the dates of reopening, dates of vacation and all of that. So I want to avert this to them, and I hope once there has been an official communique or an official letter to this effect, I am confident they would come out with some responses pretty soon.
The government intends, and this has been, a recurring conversation that has come up in terms of reviewing the free SHS and all of that. Now the government says that moving forward, they're going to be looking at review. The review that the opposition party stated that they have over the period, asked the government to review, and the government does not want to review it and all of that. But we accepted along the line that indeed it's one of the things that we need to look at it in 2024 moving forward, so that we can have a better way of solving the issues that seem to be coming out of this. In 2024, are we going to be seeing the review deal with some of these issues, apart from the fact that GES is, doing their own thing to ensure that we don't have some of these problems?
So every policy at a point in time should undergo some kind of critical analysis to ensure that we are able to harness the utmost aim of the policy. Now, when you look at the free SHS policy, the main aim, one, was to enhance enrollment and also to ensure that there is access for all Ghanaians, so that when you are in deprived areas, where you reside will not be a barrier to you taking advantage of the secondary school education. And government is very much happy with the significant gains we have made in that regard. we've received a lot of complaints, I mean, and diverse suggestions as it relates to the free SHS, and people even are saying without facts that the free SHS has compromised the standards of the secondary or senior high school education, but that is not, it cannot be substantiated by the facts. The fact says that when you compare the free SHS results to the WASSCE results of the previous years, you realize that there has been massive improvement, especially in the core courses. And so it tells us that even with the free SHS, together with the kind of development programs government has organized for the teachers, we have been able to ensure we get some good results over the years. Now, as it relates to the review, we are strictly concerned, and we always mention that when we say review, we are not considering the cancellation of the program. I mean, when we beckoned on IMF for the balance of payment support, I mean, one critical issue that was running through the minds and thoughts of Ghanaians had to do with free SHS, and there were complaints. I mean, a lot of people thought the free SHS would be cancelled. And that is not the aim of government. We maintained that, yes, we will continue with the free SHS. However, when it comes to, just as you mentioned, issues of dates and all of that, I think these are very, very critical, and it's important for all the stakeholders in our education sector to meet and also to discuss issues relating to calendar, because it's becoming quite a worrying trend.
Major issue that we have to deal with, but yet we have not been able to find solution to it. Every year we come up with issues where people speak their minds, and then it ends there. GS says this, teacher union says this, and then we are not able to make any decision on that, and then we let it go. And these kids go through that process and then come back and write exams.
Yes, okay, MJ. So on that score, as it relates to the calendar, I of course would side with those who are calling for some kind of consensus as it relates to the reopening and the vacation periods of students in the various second cycle institutions. But we want to reiterate and maintain that when it comes to making second cycle education free, government has no intention of cancelling it. I am not too sure what the intention of the opposition is, but we have
also stated that it's not something they want to cancel.
And
it has to do with infrastructure, first of all. That has always been their issue.
I mean,
that we don't have enough schools, to accommodate these students.
KMJ, talk of infrastructure. I mentioned and I maintain that this government has invested in educational infrastructure than any other government in the
opposition party thinks otherwise.
When you go to every secondary school today in Ghana, you would find new facilities. You would either find a classroom unit block or even a dormitory block, dining halls. Some schools have a lot of multifaceted blocks in there. And when we sought to implement the free SHS, we were well aware that when you look at the capacity of the various, second cycle institutions, it was quite important for government to build more of these facilities. That's how come we've built a lot of infrastructure or buildings in the various second cycle institutions to ensure that when we enroll a lot more students into these schools, where to sleep will not be a problem, where to even attend classes, and even where to eat, where to have recreational ventures will also not be a problem. And so government has invested a lot in this regard, and we continue to do more.
Very well. You can also join us with your thoughts on the issues we're discussing this morning here on the show. We're looking at the reopening of the school, free SHS, and matters arising. Now, Teachers Union is not happy about the new reopening dates, and it means that the students have to go to school on Monday, the 4th, and actually go back home from the 21st to spend a period of time and then resume school again after the Christmas period. And they think that it's not something that is feasible. They want GES to take a critical look at it and ensure that it doesn't overburden the students and then the teachers themselves. And so we're hoping that this conversation will bring some very, very good resolution, because really it's been back and forth, and we've never been able to find solutions to it. If you're a student or if you're a parent and you're watching right now, you can send your thoughts to us. Let us know what you think. Is this something that it's really a burden, or you think that the students can accommodate it and just go and do what they have to do. Your concerns on this very issue, you can send to us this morning, and then let's get into it. All right. So our next conversation will be on the special prosecutor. The office of the special prosecutor is set to investigate some government payroll, some toll deals as well, and also some state lands as well. But in his speech, he's been very, very, very livid about the way the court system is looking at issues that pertain to his work, and then the fact that he's made a lot of losses because the court issue is not giving him the chance to do what he has to do. So what happens is that anytime that there's an issue and then it's brought to his attention and he intends to actually take a look at it, the moment he starts the process, the court rules an injunction on the said persons or the institutions, and so he's unable to follow up till the end of the entire issue, and it's becoming a problem for him. And so when he was speaking, some of the people who actually have seen the video see the frustration in the office of the special prosecutor, and some are even thinking that he may just resign. He actually even has a lot of questions that he's also asking, and I don't know if he's going to get answers to those questions yet. But how do we've seen Martin Amidu try as much as possible to solve some of these issues. It got to a point where he felt that he didn't belong there anymore because he's not giving that support that he needed to make sure that what he set for himself is achieved, and so he left the office. Kissi seems to be going through the same process, and he's not also happy about it. And his press conference, you can see the frustrations on his face. Why is that position so difficult for anybody to handle?
So, KMJ, I mean, when you go back to the NPP's 2016 manifesto, page 39, we stated clearly that when we are given the nod by Ghanaians, we would set up by an act of parliament the office of the special prosecutor. And we have done that. Now, when you look at what is happening with the OSP, I mean, you realize that there has been some contention between the OSP and the courts.
The judicial system itself.
Yes. So we want to state clearly that as for government, we are giving them all the support they need, right? And so when you look at their media reports, I mean, they released this on the 30th of June, 2023. They even mentioned and included in their reports that the Ministry of Finance has given them clearance to employ 249 people. When it comes to logistics, I mean, money, employing people, government has always been supportive of them, and we seek to ensure that they are able to bring to bear issues of corruption, and whoever is involved, whoever is indicted, once they are through with their investigations, the person should be brought into the full grip of the law. Now, as it relates to the court has their own way of operating. And court proceedings usually are based on facts and evidences. Court usually doesn't operate on emotions and sentiments and what I think should be the law. And so I believe that, and KNG, let's not forget that when you look at a lot of instances that has happened in country, you realize that there are typical instances where someone would have a case in court. Maybe the High Court may rule against the person. The person may not agree to that, and the person, as provided for in the law, would file for application. Sometimes it even gets to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will overturn the decision of the ruling of the previous court, of the High Court. And so I believe it's important for the OSP to, take advantage of the provisions in the law to ensure that they're able to push a lot more further. I mean, the court system isn't against the OSP, but the court, as it is, operates based on facts and evidences and all of that. And so if you are dealing with the court and you are unable to, provide a lot more of these evidences, it makes it difficult for them to, just because, you filed a case, because you are from the office of the special prosecutor, will not warrant you winning every case you file at the court. And so I believe it's important for the OSP to take advantage of the provisions in the law to ensure they are able to maybe file for some more applications. And who knows, maybe some higher courts may overturn some of these decisions.
Over the past few years of the NPP in power, there have been serious allegations of court systems being, overpowered by party members. These allegations have come up a couple of times, and it makes work very difficult for state institutions, especially with the OSP's office, to, deal with some of these issues, because some of the people that he's going after are people who are part of government. If you look at the number and the state institutions that are part of it, and these allegations have always come up. You understand? So is it something that has to do with the government's, appointment of judicial, members?
So, KMJ, you see, when you look at the operations, even the Supreme Court judges, when you have a Supreme Court judge going on retirement, or should the unfortunate incidents of the demise of a Supreme Court judge happens, definitely the sitting president has the opportunity and the privilege, as stipulated in our laws, to ensure the person is replaced. Now, allegations are not truth. So when you make allegations against people, when you even level, allegations, incidences of corruption, and they are just allegations without critical facts, it doesn't mean that just because I've alleged that, KMJ has done this means when I go to court, the court should rule in my favor. Where is my evidence? Where is my fact? And that has been what has been bereft of our society today. And so it cannot be said that the court is being biased or whatsoever. The court operates based on facts and evidences. And so once you level incidences of corruption against people and you are unable to adduce facts and evidence, it makes it difficult for the courts, based on a report or allegation you have made, to rule in your favor. And that has been the problem. And let's not forget that once you have been appointed as a judge or even a Supreme Court, you swear an allegiance, oath of allegiance, and you do not operate based on the party or the government which is in power. There has been several instances where we have issues in court and people who have been empaneled, most of which were probably called to the Supreme Court by this government. You read their rulings and you would find that they based on facts, they rule against the government. And so unless someone is able to provide evidences to the effect that maybe a judge or a Supreme Court is avoiding the facts, and that judge is just probably engaging in just politics or something, which usually isn't the case. These are things we just would have to trivialize. Okay. But it should be said that the court operates on evidences and facts, and so allegations do not hold in any competent law of jurisdiction. Okay. You would have to provide evidence, and that is what is lacking. And I'm confident that if the OSP and even any of us, once you have issues in court and you have facts, it makes it easier.
Very well. We're going to take a quick breather, and when we come back, we'll continue. We have Richard also joining us shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to also get into your conversations that you're sending to us. So you can go ahead and send your messages to us. Our Facebook page, we're streaming live over there, so you can send your thoughts on the issues. We've spoken about two issues already, the reopening of the SHS, and also we have looked at the OSP He has a lot of issues that he wants addressed. And so you can also send your thoughts on that, and we'll read them here on the show. Our WhatsApp line is also active as well, so you can also join us over there. We're moving on to the next topic, which is the 2024 budget. Yesterday, there were too many issues in Parliament. In fact, the majority walked out of Parliament, and there was also another banter with Ursula and the Speaker of Parliament. And also, Afeyo Makin also, stating his defense, and the Speaker not ready to actually move with the issues on board because they believe that the Speaker wanted to just wait for the remaining NDC members to join in before he continues. So there's just too many issues with Parliament and how this budget approval will be happening. Now, don't forget that the Finance Minister has also stated that it's been approved. All right, so we'll find out some more on that conversation. But let's read some of your messages. This one says, this government has jeopardized quality education in Ghana on the platform of scoring political points. The free SHS is not simply working and would in the near future plunge our dear nation into multifaceted crisis if this free SHS policy is not reviewed. If technocrats within the education sector are given the nod, they will make this policy a golden one through proper and thorough review for the benefit of Ghanaian students. Let's ask ourselves, how is it that an education minister who oversees the education sector decides to send his own children to school outside the country? How does this build confidence in the ordinary Ghanaian? That's a big question you asked this morning. Daniel Akaliok sent in that one. I think special prosecutors should know by now that if you want to fight corruption under President Akufo-Addo and Bawumia's government, and you succeed, you go explain Taya from a bloody Fiokuma Zongo Takrade. I think NPP government is a problem on our neck as a country. At all costs, we must kick the NPP government by hook or crook. And that's a bloody sending in another one too as well. Can we move to the next one? If we have another message, we can get into that. Good morning to you. We are experiencing this serious economic hardship in the system because almost all our policymakers do not use our local markets when they want to buy foodstuffs, but rather use the supermarket or visit the grocery. My point is that the government should find appropriate means to bring down price of perishable items down for consumers. Transport fares is too high, both short and long distance. GPRTU of TUC must bring it down to very reasonable and avoid fare. The government must also do anything possible to bring down the inflation rate to single digit or negative eighth possible. Love, respect, and that's Aaron Babakoko Mr. sent in that one. A single digit. Anyway, good morning. I'm Arthur from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Can I get that again? I'm addicted to Rose's laughs. Her laughs makes my day. 6 a.m. sharp. Yeah, as for that laughter. We all don't know where it's coming from. We love it too. And he says, I said to Asiedwa too. She's so cute in her attire this morning. Cool. Love you, Asiedwa. KMG the boss. Respect always, bro. We love you, our brother or sister in Sierra Leone. Next time, add your name to it. It says my wife. With my wife Rose. Okay, that's him with his wife. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. We love you and your wife as well. Okay, thanks so much for always tuning in all the way from Sierra Leone. We love you guys. I think I've read this already. Can we get another one if we have? All right, so we're going to get some more of your messages coming through a bit later, but let's move on to the 2024 budget approval. Richard Mahrubi just joined us over here on the show, National Communications Team member for the NDC. He was late. He's apologized backdoor, but over to you.
Ambassador. Ambassador one.
Oh, my brother.
Yes.
Yes, good. You should follow me to Volta region.
Yes,
go and invest in Volta.
I saw I said you were marketing you big time on the social media handle.
Yeah.
I didn't know you got ambassador at large. And you didn't inform us. Anyway, let me say good morning. And my name to me be a member so I'm because my I did everything possible to get here early. But then it's just unfortunate. In fact, I met a very stubborn Uber driver this morning. And then I know are you an ambassador to Yango too?
Oh, no, please.
Okay. Yango should take us as an ambassador and train their drivers well, or else we are going to. I will not even encourage anybody to patronize Yango if that's the way they are training their drivers. To be honest with you, I had a tough time this morning. In fact, that's not the best way to do. In a way to carve people, to dip people like what OSP is worried about. So it's unacceptable. But I know with the 24-hour economy, when we restructure the economy well, 24-hour, because there will be a lot of jobs, so people will not want to dupe people to get more. So whilst Kojo is doing in the morning, Ama will do in the afternoon, I just when Jumaye, then we will go chop. Then that's the policy of President John Dramani Mahama. So Kemji, with the 24-hour economy, dear,
it's possible.
With the ambassadorial positions that you employ more. Because some will have to go in the morning to do ambassadorial. If at midnight, you need to educate people. And that's why His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama is bringing on board. And when he finishes with that, he's going to look at the agriculture sector and making sure that we move the Minister of Agriculture and Agribusiness. Mini industrial agro-processing factories will be available. With that, when it's done that, people will work in the morning, people will work in the afternoon, people will work in a three-shift economy.
I see. We're going to approve.
So what else you want?
See this man. We're going to approve budget for 2024. Yesterday was drama in Parliament. The Finance Minister says that it's been approved, but Parliament is here to actually do that.
Okay, I have to resume your seat. This is not Minister of Communication.
Hey.
Resume your seat. So if Minister of Finance is saying the budget has been approved, but let me say good morning to the good people of Qantas staff, and then His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the incoming President of the Republic of Ghana, and my very good friend, I've only used him as my very good friend, who is coming up. He's a potential Minister of Finance in the next 30 years. I think that will be 60 years, yeah? They're just 30 now.
Next 4 years.
Yes.
you know, next year. You know,
with the current strange, and he's a very intelligent guy. You know, he's a PhD candidate.
Yeah.
Yes. So we hope that whilst we are building a robust economy, whilst we are trying to build, my good brother one day will come and then invest in them. He's a good friend. And I came to
what did you do?
You want me to say what we did? So I would pray and hope that you stay put, keep online a little bit, and speak much of the fact.
You are rather lying to Richard. But you couldn't provide them jobs. And now you are promising this.
Richard, budget approval has nothing to do with
He has a lot to do with him.
No, how does
He's the government spokesperson of finance and economy. So you are telling me the Minister of Finance, who he speaks for, said the budget has been approved. And I'm saying that this guy speaks for him. Are you aware? This is the tool, the spokesperson of the Minister of Finance.
If he speaks for him, it's not him.
Why is he here this morning?
He's here in the capacity of serving the NPP party.
But you didn't address him as a national communication team member of the MPP. You never addressed him as a communication team member of the MPP. You addressed him as a government spokesperson on finance and economy.
Doesn't mean he's the finance
minister. That's what I saw on the flyer.
He's not the finance minister.
When I called him this dawn, he said he was yesterday. He didn't sleep early because he was the Minister of Finance for briefing. So he's part of it.
Okay.
Yes, KMG.
Yeah.
You see, the reality of the matter is that second term, the whole majority in Parliament, so claim majority. They say they claim their majority. Has run away from their own shadow.
They are majority.
They claim, we never have a majority. We have a majority group.
It's not by claim.
No, it's a group. It's a group. You see, it's a group of people.
It's not a claim.
It's a group of political parliamentary candidates, parliamentaries that have come together to say, okay, let's choose in the lane of the Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But the virtue of disappointment on them was Ken Ofori-Atta, they said they want him to be sacked. And 90% of the members of parliament.
Richard, give me a moment. Let's take a look at this. What happened over there for like 2 minutes, and then we'll come back. You continue from there, so we all have a better picture of what happened.
Today again, the NDC MPs wanted to reject the budget, and they did a lot of stuff to achieve that. There was an initial voice vote that the Speaker of Parliament adjudged to have been warned by the A's, those who supported the budget, and the minority were on their feet. Listen to Ama Kofi-Buah challenge that decision of the Speaker.
On Order 1132 to call for a head count to challenge your ruling. And so,
but even before the Speaker of Parliament will go ahead and conduct that head count, the majority MPs will not agree. According to them, the NDC MPs have completely adopted a process that is alien to the House.
It's most unnecessary and should not be entertained by. There is nothing before you. We can't proceed to do a head count when there is no primary application challenging the voice vote. Mr. Speaker, I therefore submit that secondary step that he is urging on you to proceed on is neither here nor there, Mr. Speaker. It is as simple as an odious submission, and Mr. Speaker should dismiss him.
There was a back and forth over this for nearly an hour before the Speaker determined that he was going to go ahead with the head count. But the Speaker decided that not only was he going to do a head count, he was going to call individual MPs to stand up on their feet in their chairs to be counted. This is where the majority MPs drew the line. Oseche Mensah Bonsu led his team to walk out. But of course, not without some hesitations on the floor. There were still some NPP MPs who were seated who really believed that option to walk out was a bad choice.
Speaker, you don't have the floor. If you want to entertain, you don't have the floor. For a head count, you don't have the floor. You don't have the floor. Head count on their side since they are challenging. You don't have the floor. You don't have the floor. The bill. You don't have the floor. You don't have the floor. And we are leaving the chamber for them. Yes, we are leaving the chamber for you. Now do the head count and see whether you have the number to overturn Mr. Speaker's ruling.
Very well. So that was the drama that ensued at the Parliament House yesterday. And yes, as at this moment, we still don't know whether it's been approved or not. We were on the floor before.
It has not been approved so far as I know in the conversation I had with the majority leader and some of the finance committee, John Jenapoy and Co. Per the order of the DA in Parliament, the budget has not been approved. I can say categorically that the budget has not been approved. And let me use this opportunity to thank members of the NDC who has voted massively for the support of a strong parliament today. Strengthening democracy, this is the way it has to go. And I think that when you go this way, it's the best way for us to build a robust economy. The NDC and the minority group in parliament, there's no majority and minorities, and there are groups in parliament.
We're not going to debate that.
Has insisted that the budget has not been very favorable for the ordinary person. It has not been very favorable for people in Gambaga. It has not been favorable to people in Alerego. Even people in Wale Wale, it has not been favorable to them. And for that matter, the budget statement will not be approved by this unless we go and do some amendment of the lesson and the burden they are putting on ordinary person. KMG, Manasseh will tell you, we are running a budget deficit on next year. Are you aware? We need to borrow about 50 billion more in addition to our revenue target that we are even looking at. And so to be able to cushion the economy that we are having. The government has overpromised and been telling us a lot of things. KMG, if you even look at other sectors, the appendices of the budget, you could recall and see that lesser money has been going to productivity. Consumption, when we talk about Kele Willy, biscuit, Coca-Cola, and those things that are going to government expenditure at the presidency, is even huge. So we are looking at it that to be able to make sure an ordinary person get this, the finance minister have to go and come again. But KMG, if you even look at the debate in Parliament, it clearly tells you that the majority group doesn't have any case to build. Look at their side. Most of the members of Parliament were disappointed in them. Dear members of Parliament, who has even wrote a petition to the President for the finance minister to be sacked. So they intended and decided to help the minority not to approve the budget. And I ask, what was the instance? Speaker said he's going to do head count. Even upon the head count, he's mentioned names because the deputy minority leader has put in a claim with I think what the 114 that we needed to do a head count to make sure that the voice votes will be, because if you even look at the majority side, the whole chairs were empty. Most of the chairs were empty. The minority group were heavily present in Parliament. None of us were not there. Even you recall that they even just Siemens was already claimed that Sam George and Co were not even in Parliament. But at the instance where you were even accusing Sam George, he was in the chambers. You see, so we are saying that the budget will not be approved. We are not ready to approve the budget until the finance minister has put in measures to make sure an ordinary Ghanaian An ordinary person, KMG, the people in Takoradi are going to meet recently for their Christmas that are crying foul of not even being able to buy a fowl to celebrate Christmas. Those people in Takwa, that tomorrow, Menansi is never moving here. I saw his plane ticket that is going to Takwa Performance Day. You will know that they will not be able to survive. But are you not going for the? Are you not
plane, please?
No, but are you not going?
I'm not going with any plane.
You are going by road, but you buy a lot of fuel.
I'm not even sure I'll go. If I'll go, it will be by road.
By road, but your V8.
I'm not using V8.
So
why are you doing negative propaganda?
So these are the things we are saying.
Richard,
You're
in opposition. Look at the cars you are driving.
Richard, I just told you I took an Uber, isn't it?
Who believes that? Who believes that?
So you are the only person who has seen Manasseh's V8.
Oh, but you know Manasseh.
He's well aware I don't have.
Manasseh
I don't have
every morning to the studio here. To be honest,
with which car?
With a V8.
With which car?
Please, 2023 model.
Richard, stop lying.
I'm telling you.
Stop lying.
No, Manasseh, you should be grateful to God. No, you should be grateful to God. That government of Ghana has allocated a very nice vehicle with a driver and a police officer to you. So you should be grateful.
Stop that.
So this is what happened in Parliament. You said clearly that you don't know what next. We still insist the budget has not been approved, and until the Minister of Finance comes back and come again well. But I'm surprised and amazed. I don't know whether the Minister of Finance hold its own prerogative power. The constitution is him. That is sit and says that the budget has been approved so far as he is concerned. The head count supposed to happen. There was majority was lesser number, and the people of Ghana spoke through minority, and the budget is still at hold, and we will make sure the budget is not approved until the government put better measures to make sure that ordinary person get his situation well.
All right. Thank you, Richard.
Right.
Manasseh.
So, KMG, for the records, I don't use any V8. I don't use any official vehicle from government.
Oh, you've started using it?
I do not use any official vehicle. So, Richard, you know this. Let's be mindful of.
Anyway, if he says that, yes, I know you use it. So
I don't. You are aware.
It's not official.
You are aware that I don't use any official vehicle.
It's your money that you used to buy the V8.
You are aware. I don't use any V8 in any official vehicle. So let's not do propaganda. KMG, on the issue of the budget, I mean, Parliament is a master of its own affairs, and most often than not, we record several incidences of working out when one group feels they are not being treated fairly or so. And so, what happened in Parliament yesterday isn't anything new. Of course, when the Speaker called for the voice vote, after he asked that those who are in favor should shout aye and those who are not in favor should shout no. It was clear. He himself stated that I think the ayes have it. Then there were some applause and conversations and all that. But before the head count would be done, there should be an official challenge to the voice vote. And that was the main issue of the majority. That because there wasn't any official challenge, it makes it difficult for the Speaker to overturn the decision of the voice vote. And I mean, as it relates to Parliament, I'm always circumspect with the way I have conversations around them, and I know they are masters of their own game. And I mean, there will be this kind of back and forth, but we are confident that before the end of the year, the budget will be approved. When you look at the economic policy component, and Richard,
that's what it means. I mean,
Richard, when you look at when you look at the economic policy component of the budget statement, it has a lot of goodies for Ghanaians. And so, Richard, when you mentioned that the budget is not favorable for Ghanaians, I'm not too sure if you've had time to read the budget. This is a budget that has made provision for a lot of the youth that are entering into agric, of which Richard has applied. Richard runs a cold store. He has a poultry farm. He has applied for the youth in agric, and he's going to be supported.
Are you going to give
under the poultry initiative? Of course. It has nothing. No. All we are using is the Ghana card. And the system, you see, it runs on a system. The system is unable to tell that this person is an MPP member or an NDC member. There is nothing. It has nothing to do with you. You don't need any polling station number, Richard. All you need is your Ghana card, and once you apply, you'll be shortlisted, and you'll be given support.
And with the applications, would have testimonies of people who will come.
Richard will come and testify.
Even
Richard will testify.
But I've also not applied.
You told me you've
No,
applied.
I've not
What
applied.
happened?
I've not
Today
applied.
you apply. When we are done, apply.
The reason I
and you will get
even
it.
that application, whether Richard has applied or
Yeah.
not, the two of you, when you leave here, your conversations are different.
Richard is not straight in this because last time we spoke,
you have applied.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a fact.
Last time we spoke.
It's a fact. I run a cool store. It's a fact. I'm
You have
into
a
animal
poultry.
farm.
Of course.
It's not only poultry. I do cattle. I do pigs. I do fowls. I do
Richard.
guinea fowls and those things. But I have never in any day even applied for any of the components
Richard,
that
then
I'm not
you
been
should
approved.
take you should take
Something that I'm not
advantage.
approved.
You should take advantage. You should take advantage of it.
If advice, fine. If the budget
course,
is
I mean,
approved
you
and it's a good allocation, why not? We all want to run a 24-hour economy. So what is it? It's not bad.
So,
Yes,
but as at this moment, is the budget approved as at this moment?
So when you consider the initial stage of the voice count, by way of the speaker saying that he thinks the ayes have it, that was an initial approval. However,
That was
when
the finance
that was
minister's,
yes, it was on that basis that the
that-
finance minister said that he believes it has been approved because there wasn't any official challenge to the voice vote. And there were some uproars in Parliament. The issue is still hanging, and so I believe there will be further sittings in Parliament to ensure that we have the economic policy and the budget statement for 2024 duly approved. Yes.
Are you confident that we'll be able to do this?
Oh yes. I mean, when you look at what is embedded in the economic policy, when you look at the growth strategy and what government is implementing, when you look at the allocation even to the economic enclave project, about
Like
$1 billion
what?
Ghana cedi to the economic enclave project to ensure that we have a lot more, 500 of the youth engaging in agric just at Chopoli. And we have other enclaves across the country as well. It is so huge. When you look at the huge investments we are making, even in the tourism industry, even in aquaculture, of which Richard seeks to venture, because now fish farming is becoming so productive, right? And it has a lot of profits at that area. And Richard had conversations with me, and he's telling me that let's enter into this together.
Well, aquaculture is not a bad thing.
Yes,
but then
so KMJ, when you look at the dictates of the economic policy, it is so huge to the extent that it clearly outlines efforts by government in ensuring, one, we are able to support our industries, in ensuring that, two, our agricultural productivity is duly enhanced to ensure we are able to create more employment opportunities for the youth and even for all Ghanaians. And so it makes it difficult for me to accept claims by people that the budget is not supportive of Ghanaians. This has been one of the budgets that has been skewed towards addressing the critical needs of the Ghanaian people. We were here in this country when the unfortunate incidents of the Akosombo dam spillage happened, and we all had conversations to this effect. Your station, Joy Prime, were there to cover, and we all followed proceedings. And it is refreshing to know that government has allocated 220 million Ghana cedis for the flood victims to ensure that we are able to sustain their livelihoods for them, so they are able to go back to their economic activity. Richard, you are from that area. That is your second hometown, and you should be happy.
My area has also been affected.
Exactly. So why then do you say that the budget is not in touch with Ghanaians? It is addressing specific needs. We mentioned the La General Hospital, and the allocation has also been made to ensure the contractor moves to site. And so this budget,
what
is specific.
What happened to the European fund that was allocated?
Of course, that complements. And don't forget, hold on.
So what
you
happened?
see, when you get an approval or even a grant, you could have an MOU or even a document to the effect that this institution is giving you a grant. Richard, hold on. Yes, it takes time.
They said IMF conditionality, they withdraw the investment.
Hold on. It doesn't mean that because we've secured 50 million euros, and they've given you the official document, it doesn't mean you get the document today and tomorrow you receive the money. Sometimes it will take a whole year, sometimes 6 months, and the money will not even come. That is why it is expedient. Hold on. Richard, let me make. Who is lying?
No.
Richard, I am not.
I am much concerned about that particular project.
Let him finish.
Richard, I am not lying. What I'm saying is that, as it relates to grants or even loans, when you have an officially signed document to the effect that, let's say, AFDB or any multilateral institution is giving you even a grant, The fact that you have received the official communique from them doesn't mean the money is hitting your account tomorrow. Sometimes it could take months. And so if you want to embark on a critical project and you are solely relying on that fund, it will certainly drag. And that's how come government, as a matter of urgency, has made provision for the La General Hospital to ensure we are able to engage the contractor to go back to site. So that if we receive that funding, it will also complement, and the kind of infrastructure we want to put up would far outweigh the 50 million euros we have been able to secure from them.
Have been allocated.
That is it.
It's only 50 million.
No, I am saying 50 million euros from external sources.
But so
from external sources. That is it.
But it's how coming. No, maybe it's not you informing that project, because I used to work with the Ghana Health Service, so I know what I'm talking about. This project was commissioned, was cut by the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and it said by 2022 the project will be completed, and that is they will get about 15 million euro to be able to complete that project by 2023. Today, as I'm talking to you now, it's now that they've laid an agreement in Parliament for us to use GOG. Okay, and why did that fund didn't come? It didn't come because the investor is saying because of the IMF conditionalities, they don't have confidence in investing in Ghana health sector again, and that's because of the corruption that emanated at the Ministry of Health. You know, at my spoon.
That was why it ended up the way it did.
So if you come to sit here and tell us that you brought the chiefs, the Ulume and all those big chiefs in the Greater Accra, went and demolished their hospital. And do you know this one thing that I'm so worried about? When the hospital was demolished, patients that were even in that hospital was moved to around Domi Kwabenya hospital that was built by President John Dramani Mahama. And up to now, the hospital has not been constructed. Even one gas and cement have not been brought to the site. And you sit here and tell us that now that you put the component of it in the budget. How much did you put in the budget? 15 million. Of GOG. So GOG project is quite delayed, Yeah. GOG projects, you can't finish that project, so you don't worry. No, we are saying that we in government, we are saying that President John Dramani Mahama is saying that when we come to power, all the projects that have been abandoned, be it the Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo project, being it President John Dramani Mahama's project, we're going to complete. So the people of La have confidence in us, give us a vote to be able to complete the hospital for you. What he's saying that is part of the budget was not a promise he gave to the government. And that's why. Why is that any time you promise you don't deliver? Why?
Richard, you are taking the conversation out of context.
Which one is the context?
Now, when the La General Hospital was pulled down, you remember Ghana had some agreement with the Standard Chartered Bank UK.
Certainly.
Yes, and they agreed to support the government in ensuring we are able to put up that facility. In the advent of the global financial crisis.
Oh, no, that's not it. It was IMF conditionality.
Hold on. It was IMF. Richard, will you let me speak?
Will you let me speak? That came out was the IMF conditionality. Will you let me speak? On the show.
So there were global financial challenges. And in UK, they were also struggling.
No.
Right? They were also struggling. So it makes it difficult for them to provide this funding for you. I am saying that in recent times, government has secured some 50 million euros.
For where?
To ensure we are able to continue the project. However, the release of this fund is taking a while, and so it is expedient on government to ensure that we make sure Go to the Ministry of Health website and you
also has 68 million
from the Standard Chartered Bank in the UK.
That one is from 2 years ago.
Government of Ghana is saying that he has allocated that GOG is going to build a hospital. So why are you saying where are you getting the fund from?
Richard isn't listening.
I'm listening.
Richard,
we've got only 5 minutes to do this.
What I'm saying is this. Now, government has secured 50 million euros to ensure we're able to expedite the building of the La General Hospital.
So the 68 was previously, that was in 2020.
Yes. But in the Ministry of Health reports just in this November that we've secured some 50 million euros. I'll give you the source soon. Now, the fact that we have secured 50 million euros doesn't mean the money has hit our account.
The processes involved.
Of course, so it takes a while.
Exactly.
However, it is expedient on government to ensure that as a matter of urgency, we begin the construction of the La General Hospital.
So where's that funding coming from now?
That is how come in the budget we have made provision to ensure that once we're able to raise revenue, we'll be able to, from our own resources, expend some more.
So it means that we're not starting that project anytime soon.
We are starting now.
With which money?
With our own resources.
Do we have that resources?
Of course we have. So when the finance minister,
the same money stated in the budget.
of course.
So Manasseh, you agree with me that
when the finance minister read the budget, he mentioned that the following week the contractor will be on site. So we have to do our own checks. We have to probably visit there and see what is happening. If that is the case, but I want to. We have to. He wasn't there.
I passed through that road.
You were not there. Richard is always lying. So we have to delineate the issues and to be clear in our minds that government intends and we are expending on this project so that after a while, if we are able to get the 50 million euros as we've signed the agreement already, that will also complement our effort to ensure we are able to speed up the work of the
process.
That is the aim of government. You were in government. You promised a lot. You couldn't do anything.
Government promised to pay 860 million euro. Okay, it's 3,815 point something million euro to start the project from the Standard Chartered Bank from the UK. Now,
which year?
In that would have been completed in 2020. That was in 2020.
Yes, and I'm saying there's been a cut in that.
So
there's a new funding. This is not the same as what we are reading. That's what I'm saying.
The point I'm raising is
so, Richard, what's your problem? Your problem is that the previous funding did not work.
It did not work because of the IMF conditionalities. Okay,
but we've moved past that.
The IMF conditionalities.
No, that was the reason why the project was stopped. And we all.
Listen. You cut short on the project in 2020 and told us by 2022 the project will be completed. And we're in 2023.
And then we had issues.
You come back to Parliament to tell us
that. If you are outsourcing for funds from external sources to embark on a project and you are unable to get the funding from the external sources, how then do you expect the government to complete the project?
KMG, I understand you perfectly.
Do you get it?
But KMG, the matter, this is the whole issue. Multimedia, okay? You went and looked for money to come and build multimedia. Your structure, you didn't get the money. You came to break the whole multimedia, waiting for money to come and build multimedia. And at the end of the day, the money didn't come. What is the logic in that? What is really the logic in that?
It's one of the reason there's a need for them to now begin, even if the project.
So they are saying that you and I should contribute. That's what they mean. You and I should contribute our tax money. The government of Ghana have to now GOG have to pay. It's our revenue money we are going to pay. Meanwhile, you will break this thing down. You waste productivity.
But the hospital was served Ghanaians, right?
Yes, and people.
So if we're supposed to use taxes to even build it.
Oh no, what I'm saying, people
it's not the same.
Productivity. People have run unemployed. You know those guys that were working there, the paramedicals, the nurses. Where are they now? They are all at home. You understand?
Don't talk unemployment.
And
when you were in government and the youth were crying on the former president, he told them he's not a magician. He told them he's not a magician to provide jobs. So you've lost the moral right to talk about
unemployment. Should be a big lesson for our politicians to be mindful of their promises and the way of implementing them. In fact, the free SHS is a killer to our educational system. These people are destroying the young generation, but will not realize it now. But the impact will be seen 20 years to come. But for the matter of special prosecutor, he should just resign because he's surrounded by vultures, so he should be very careful. NPP can never be trusted. My regards to incoming MP for Mion Alaji Misbah Sumani Hamza. JDM and NDC is in high spirits and poised to victory in 2024's polls following the hard work prior to, during, and after assuming the high office of the president for the good people of Ghana. Evidence bounds. Honorable Richard Manurube, the people of Nkwanta South is with you. JDM and NDC. Justice from Nkwanta sent in that one.
Oh, people are watching from Nkwanta.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. The 24-hour economy is hunting MPP. Majority walk away with their own budget. JDM 24-hour economy. Chance constituency for Honorable Samuel Owusu Brako, NDC, PC and JDM 2024. Inshallah, Mohammed Zainal Abdin Zongo Kakos Achias constituency sent in that one. This one says, good morning, Dr. Baumia. Good morning with the youth of university graduates and nurses as well as teachers training students. We wish you wish well and also waiting for your manifesto which can give we jobs. Jobs.
Oh,
Dr. Baumia, we are with you.
It's out already. Are you aware?
He says
the manifesto is out.
It's going to give them jobs.
Oh, no,
That's just jobs.
that's what it says.
He's spoken about some.
Oh, no. I mean, how do you call it? This guy, Chairman Wontumi, has put the policy, the manifesto policy. He said they are going to create more apps to trade.
But Chairman
and then go for finance. That's
Chairman Wontumi is not a chairman. He's not the national chairman.
No. The man stood. He has even been sued as a king. What is that what he said?
He's not responsible for that. Good morning, Joy Prime. No wonder what NPP is good at is to keep on deceiving innocent Ghanaians. There's nothing working in this country. Look at the amount of money these con men have sunk into planting for food. What is the impact of that? Food inflation alone is killing us. The government functionaries think we are washing our faces upward. None of their sweet talks shall change our minds this time. I don't know how these people are thinking. Look at what is happening in GES. How will you tell a student to travel all the way to school on 4th December and break them on 21st December? Who does that? NPP with their confusion. All right, so I host the wicked rulers continue to impose and justify the numerous nuisance taxes and untold hardship on the citizens after promising to change from taxation to production. The Bible says, when the wicked rule, the people suffer and crime multiplies, but the righteous will left witness their downfall. Proverb 29, verse 2. Good morning, Joy Prime and your panelists, especially Sir Comrade Richard Manurube of the most successful political party. The Nana-led MPP government should know that there is a clear difference between majority and minority group. The DPT majority, deputy majority group leader, Alexander Afenyomakin, should stop displaying his ignorance on the floor of parliament. What is it that the group who sees itself in majority will walk out of parliament? Is it that they simply could not whip their members to attend proceeding? If yes, it will mean MPP MPs themselves do not have confidence in the Nana-led government and its empty budget. The centre can simply not hold. All right, is there any other one? Very well, that'll be all for this morning here on Prime Morning's News Flash. I'm excited you guys joined us today here on the show. Thank you so much. But you're late.
Yes, but you know why I was late actually. And
I'm just saying you're late because you're late, and not because you had issues.
Quick one before I end the
Please,
show.
very quickly.
Yeah, because what is happening at the OSP, I felt very, very pitiful.
Rich, you're coming to talk about OSP.
Yes, no, I feel very pitiful. And the special prosecutor, because Martin Amidu said it already, and we didn't take it serious. But what's saying in Breswan?
Very well,
Overcome.
that'll be our conversation for this morning.